We are discussing about habitat lesson. Yesterday we discussed about the differences between aquatic plants and terrestrial plants. Today we are talking about orchid. What is meant by orchid? We all are having the habit of going to village to our grandparents' house. Is it right or not? At that moment, our grandparents will have some guava trees, some mango trees, some citrus fruits, some sapota trees. These all will be there in their houses. So what we will do after finishing our breakfast or without finishing our breakfast, we will be back with our grandfather when he is going to the orchard. Means a single variety of crop, a single variety of crop is called orchid. Means, for example, here you can see example mango, guava, apple, some citrus fruits. Citrus means oranges, batai or some other fruits. These all will be present in an orchard. And you can see in the orchard also you can see long, large plants will be present. Tall and large plants will be present in the orchard. And you can see that there will be a distance between each and every plant. In a line and in an order they will be. In a line and in an order these plants will be there. And to these orchards, near these single plants, we can see large number of, these are very tall plants, whatever you take mango or whatever guava or something. Beside this you can see some small plants like grass plants also will be present. Some grass plants also will be present. Is the orchard and the forest are the same? No. When we are taking the forest, there is a question that the plants which are present in the orchard and the plants which are present in the forest are same or different. When we are coming to this point, we will say that the orchard is reared by the farmers. A farmer will handle the orchard. But when we are taking a forest, the forest automatically it will be developed and there will be different varieties of plants will be present. Different variety of plants will be present. Example, tamarind, amla, neem, bamboo, tangedu, teak, sandalwood, etc. Many varieties of plants will be there in the forest. Here you can see that in the orchard there is a distance between each and every plant. But here I can't say that they will be in order or in line, one by one. Here if it is tamarind, beside this only you can see amla, beside this only you can see neem, beside this only you can see sandalwood. All the trees will be together and the forest will be very, very thick, dark. Okay, when you are seeing the orchard and the forest, lot of different is there. In the orchard, a single variety of crop will be present. In the forest, different varieties of trees will be present. In orchard, a lot of space will be there. Light also will be present. We can enjoy, we can play there. But when we are coming to the forest, it is called as a thick forest with number of trees. We cannot enter into the forest. Here, animals will be present. here in the orchard animals will be present, that orchard is not the habitat for that animals. When we shout or when we make some sound, they will move away from here. But here the forest is a habitat for wild animals. Forest is a habitat for wild animals. Okay, orchard is not a habitat for any animal, but forest is an habitat for wild animals. You cannot destroy or disturb the habitat of wild animals in the forest. If this crop is completed, again after 6 months, I can cut the crop in the orchard and keep one more. If this year it is completed, or I will go with for 4 or 5 years I will go with mango. Next, for the fertility of the soil, I will go with the next citrus fruits. Next, after 5-6 years, I will go with the guava. Like that, I will have every 5 years I can. Otherwise, I can live like that also. Every year I can go with the only mango crop. But here in the forest, I will not cut the trees. Why? Because we know that forests are the lungs of the earth. Forests are. Now in our body, however, the lungs are very, very important. If that lungs are not present, we cannot respire. Is it correct or not? Our lifetime is completed. In the same way, these forests are the lungs of our earth. So we cannot cut them. Okay. Why? Because we are getting the greenery is present in the forest. We are getting oxygen there itself, and whatever carbon dioxide we are releasing, it is taken by these trees, and they are giving us fresh air. And these forests are under the control of tribal people. They are under the control of tribal people. You can see here the tribals will handle these forests. Means they know each, the flora and fauna of the forest will be known by the tribal people. Means they know where the flowers will be there. They know where the Ayurvedic plants will be there. Where they will get the food. Where they will get dry stems. They will not. The people who are even living in the forest, the tribal people, will never destroy the forest. If they want to, now they will depend on beetroots, carrots, radishes, etc. Like us, they won't pluck out from the root off. They will cut the upper part and leave the root part like that. Again, it will grow. So, who are uneducated, they are better than us. What we will do when we see something, we will uproot everything and we will eat that one, which is not useful for us. We will throw. But what they will do means only the half part they will cut it and they will have that, and they will save the lives of the wild animals. They will not kill for their food purpose wild animals. So you have to know the difference between an orchard and a forest. I hope you understood what is an orchard and what is a forest. A single variety of crop is called orchard, and the forest different varieties of food. Now the other topic is good habit. Good habitat, good life. Good habitat, good life. What is the meaning of good habitat and good life? Now, I'm a human being. I will be happy in my home. Is it correct or not? No one should come and disturb my house. Now, the birds and animals, what they will do? They will be on the trees. I should not cut the trees for my purpose. Why? Because many creatures are living on that. Already I explained for you the terrestrial habitat. Now, the ponds, lakes, rivers are the habitat for aquatic plants and animals. We should not disturb them. Nowadays, what the people are doing for constructing apartments, industrial purpose, the ponds and lakes, they are closing that, and on that they are constructing the apartments, industries and buildings. If they do like that, what is happening? We are disturbing the habitat of aquatic plants and animals. That is wrong. We should not disturb the habitat of these aquatic plants and animals. Why can't you search another place for the construction of buildings and buildings or industries? Why we have to spoil the ponds and lakes here? We should not disturb the aquatic plants. We should not cut the trees. Large and huge trees we should never cut. Why? Because I already told for you in the terrestrial habitat, how many people are depending on this, what is that, huge plants and trees. Next, we should not disturb the human beings, and the human beings should not disturb. I told for you, necessary creatures, necessary plants and animals are living with us as houses and habitat, and unnecessary like cockroaches, lizards, rats, they are not necessary in our house, but they are also taking livelihood. We are not ready to disturb any sort of organisms or living beings or creatures habitat. So good habitat will be good life, you have to understand here. Next, yesterday itself I told you that few what is that, birds and animals will migrate from one place to another. Few birds and animals will migrate from one place to another. What are those animals? Which one will migrate from one place to another? For what purpose they are migrating from one place to another? Now we will see that one. Okay. Now we are going to see that. Which as I said for you, the animals will migrate from one place to another for the sake of food. And the birds will migrate from one place to another for reproduction. For the sake of reproduction, the animals will move from one place to another. I'll give you some of the examples here in our textbook. What they gave are, here we are having two types of lakes, Kolleru Lake and Pulicat Lake. Pulicat Lake. Kolleru Lake and Pulicat Lake. These are present in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, this Kolleru Lake and Pulicat Lake are present in Andhra Pradesh. What will happen is the birds will migrate. The birds will migrate from one place to another. To these two lakes, they will come in the months of October to March. The birds will move from this Kolleru Lake to Pulicat Lake from October to March. For what purpose? For the sake of reproduction, to lay the eggs. And in Kurnool district we have, yesterday itself I told, a bird called Batamika Pitta. A bird called Batamika Pitta, which flies over long distances and comes here. Where to Kurnool district it will come for laying the eggs. It migrates from one place to another. The next one here, not only it happens in the terrestrial, that only birds, when we take aquatic animals like fishes, tortoise, etc. If you are taking care, animals like turtles and fishes. Turtles and fishes. Animals like turtles and fishes also from where we can see from West Bengal and Orissa, from the seas. From where? From West Bengal and Orissa. Where they will come? They will come to Vizag. See how long distances the fishes and turtles are moving. Here we saw from long distances the Batamika Pitta migrates to Kolleru, Pulicat, Kurnool district. They will come for reproduction in October to March times. Means here you can see the turtles and fishes from West Bengal and from Orissa, they will reach to Vizag. Like this, the birds and the animals all will migrate from one place to another. One more famous fish was there known as Pulasa fish. Who are non-vegetarians, I hope you will know about the Pulasa fish. If not, ask to your parents, which is very famous, and what is the importance of that one, how it migrates from one place to another place, you will know about that Pulasa fish. Next, coming to the one. Open page number 63. Open page number 63. There are some pictures are given. I am going to give the names of that pictures. You please write them. The first one is pond scatter. The first one is pond scatter. The second one is dragon fly. The second one is dragonfly. Third one is green fly. Fourth one, mayfly. Fifth one is kingfisher. Sixth one is maggot. Seventh one is mussels. Eighth one is snail, pond snail. Ninth one is flatworm. 10th one is brilling beetle. 11th one is leech. 12th one is pistia. 13th one is lotus. 14th one is Vallisneria. So you can see here Vallisneria. The two are, one is male, the other one is female. Sorry, here 14th one is Hydrilla. After lotus, the 14th one is Hydrilla, and the 15th one is Vallisneria. Vallisneria. Please see what are the different organisms are given and what are the names of those. First one is pond scatter, second one is dragonfly, third one greenfly, fourth one mayfly, fifth one kingfisher, sixth one is maggot, seventh one is mussels, eighth one is pond snail, ninth one is flatworm, 10th one is drilling beetle, 11th one is leech, 12th one is pistia, 13th one is lotus, 14th one is hydrilla, and 15th one is Vallisneria. These are all 15 diagrams you have to draw in your classwork. These are all 15 diagrams you must draw in your classwork. So, in this habitat lesson, I hope you understood. We talked about what is habitat, what is aquatic habitat, what is terrestrial habitat, house as a habitat, what is the difference between an orchard and forest, what is a good habitat for good life we discussed, and I told about the migrating birds and animals from one place to another, and the different types of the pictures are given, and he asked us to write the names of those pictures. I gave the names here, and these diagrams you have to draw in your classwork. That's all of habitat lesson. Thank you.